All right, welcome to Byfield Newberry. Triton Vikings up against the Pentucket Sachems, whatever it is tonight. I'm Patrick Heffernan.
I'm Leo Heffernan. Today we have a pretty good matchup. Triton's been doing well. They just came off a loss, though, to Hamilton Wenham. They really kind of fell apart in that fourth quarter, so we'll see what they can do today. But I'm happy to be back in the booth.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Been a few years since I've been here.
You were here last year.
Oh, true.
We did a game together last year.
True. So.
All right. Yes, welcome back, Leo. Good to have you here. We're unfortunately missing Liam. He's off skiing. That's the downside of living in New England, I guess. You lose your partner to skiing, but that's all right. We got Dylan Shute on the court again tonight, starting back from football. Max McKenzie's going to take the jump. Kyle O'Doy out there with TJ Overbaugh, and, of course, Will Parsons.
It's great to see Dylan back. I think he's been itching to play for a while now, so with his injury, he's really happy. He's a solid player, so he's going to be looking to do some work tonight.
Got to get some offense out of him. So O'Doy with a little bit of an errant pass. Will's got it. Driving to his left, can't go anywhere. Swings it back out to O'Doy. O'Doy up top to Overbaugh. Shoot with the ball, first time in his hands. Looking for something, goes to Overbaugh. Really ought to shoot that ball. He's going to swing it out to Max in the corner. Max looking inside to Will. Tipped away. It's going to stay Triton ball.
2 seconds left on the shot clock. So we'll see what they can do here. They're going to look for a quick shot probably.
Oh, hey, Pentucket averages 70-something points a game. So if they use up every single bit of the clock, it'll be a good thing. Will wide open somehow. That's the way to start. Pentucket moving the ball up the court. I'm going to have to get used to their names best I can. I know that's McGrail, 31. I don't know what 31 is. 14 with a shot in the bucket there. That was Flaherty. Flaherty was featured in the paper today. His grandfather's probably somewhere in the house. We don't know who he is, but maybe if we see him later, we'll point him out. So Overbaugh with the ball, swings it out to Shoot with the drive. Fouled on his way up. That's Stiss, number 40.
Shoot is one of those players who's going to really get this Viking ship involved in the game and really get them loud. He's a expressive player, if I do say so myself. So we'll see what he can do. Maybe get some excitement going here early on.
Got to make his free throws. There's the first miss. It's 3-2 early on with just 1 minute left in the 1 minute gone in the game. Shoot at the line. Misses a second. No rebound for the Triton Vikings. Coming up the court, it's McGrail with the ball. Looking for Stiss on the side, but he doesn't go to him. Looking to Flaherty. Nope, it's going to be a foul, I think, on Shoot. On the side. They're going to call that on 3 white. There we go. We have our stats team with us tonight, the Gundrums. Keeping each stats. Hopefully we get even rebound stats out of them tonight. We'll see. So far there hasn't been a lot of action on the rebound front. So Pentucket with the ball, bringing it into the corner. And I think they can call Overbaugh for grabbing his shirt. You can see it from here. He was definitely holding him. Yeah, that's a hold.
It's one of those fouls that, I mean, he's a young player. He's a sophomore, I believe. And so it's just one of those things where you learn with those with time. So
he is a sophomore, which is pretty great that he's starting at the point guard position. It's good for Triton long term. Nice shot, nice little floater in the lane by Pentucket. And they have an early 5-2 lead. Overbaugh bringing it up. He's got O'Doy out to his right, doesn't go to him, comes back up center. Nope, he's going to go back down in the corner himself. Steps back, and he gets called for the push-off. We're going to see Tamino very soon here, I think. 2 fouls on Overbaugh quickly. Pentucket dropping back. I'm sorry, Triton dropping back. Not going to press. Who's this kid, 31? It's Pacey. Pacey with the ball now, bringing it up. He's only a junior. Looks in inside. Terrible pass right to Overbaugh. He's pushing it. He's got O'Doy on the wing. He's going to give it up to Max. Max with a strong drive. Somehow no foul on that. 2 kids rolling over on the floor.
Sloppy basketball.
It is sloppy basketball so far. Looks it out, kicks it out to 40. 40 looking inside. Oh, and that's going to be a foul on O'Doy playing against Willis. O'Doy, the freshman.
Triton's got to be a little bit more disciplined so far. They already got five fouls in the half, and we're not even a solid 2 minutes in. So they gotta be a little bit more tighter there.
If the refs are going to call him, then you got to stop fouling.
True.
That's what it comes down to. Hits the first. This is 22. Willis at the line. So we got Willis, Pacey, 14 is Flaherty, 24 McGrail, and 40 is Stiss out on the court for Pentucket. No changes yet. Nobody coming off the bench. Overball, bringing it back up. Again, no pressure at all from Pentucket till he's across half court. Comes up on him now. That's Flaherty playing against Overball. Overball again looking to that right side. O'Doy looking to do something. They really haven't gotten the ball in Shoot's hands until now. He's got the ball again, gives it up to Max. Max with a big fat lane, looks for O'Doy underneath, it's not there. So we haven't seen a ton of offense yet from Triton, but they've only had really, 2 possessions that I can think of. One that we made a shot, one that we missed a shot. The rest have been just turnovers. Looking inside, there's Will. He's gonna get it up top, take a step, move, little step back. He's gonna bury that.
That gets the fans up, that's for sure.
Gets the fans up, but it's still only 2 points, and they're trailing 7-4. So out to Flaherty. Flaherty with a good move around O'Doy. McGrail again taking the 3 and a complete brick off the side. O'Doy pressuring. Nope, he's going to drive. No, he's not. Looking for Will. Will's not there. He needs some help over there in that corner. He's going to get bailed out by the ref. And that's the first foul, right, for Pentucket? They were on number 24. It's 24, McGrail.
I believe that's actually the second foul.
Second foul. I'm sitting next to the stats guy so I can get the good stats, and I still mess that up. First one of the next game. Looking inbound. Finally goes to Max deep. He's got the ball. Looking to that side. Overball up top. They got to reset with a full 30-second clock. Looking. Still nothing. Gets a nice pick from Max and then drives the lane himself. Nice little dipsy going in.
Oh.
That is, they have missed that this season. I'll say that. 6-7 now.
Yeah, they don't really have that kind of guy who can drive, which I think has been a problem for them, especially in the last couple games.
Oh, they're going to call 2-3. They're going to call Will with the hold on that. Yep, they called Will with a hold on that. The kid was driving the lane. I'm sorry, what were we saying, Leo?
Just that they don't really have a player who can solidly drive. I think TJ and Max are both a little timid, and as well as Kyle, who can drive, but he's not as strong at driving. The only one they really have is Will, and he hasn't been, especially in the Hamilton-Wenham game, he was not nearly as accurate as I think he would have hoped.
Oh, and they're going to call a travel. Nope, yeah, they are. That's brutal. So it should have been a charge. And then somehow it's a travel when he falls over his own player. And I'm not sure he took an extra step there. I think he just took an awkward step. So yeah, we need to see Shoot drive the lane more. You can tell I'm talking to number 24. It's going to get rough under there, and I like it. Here we go. Flaherty with a drive, and he's going to, not make that bucket, but it's out on Pentucket. Pacey can't pull the ball down. Back to Triton, 6-7 with 4.5 left in the first.
To be honest, the game's already getting a little pushy around down low, so we'll see what happens. I mean, Pentucket and Triton are not exactly rivals. I know, like, officially they're rivals, but they've never had bad blood or anything compared to, say, Newburyport and Triton. So we'll see what they can do, what happens today.
Before the shot, so Will with a great drive down the lane, but they're going to call it before the shot on the floor. There's no continuation in high school. This is in the NBA. Foul on 1-2, so that's... Well, that kid's new in the game. I missed him when he came in. Pat Dillon. So Triton kicks out to Max. Max for 3, and that's going to miss. But he gets his own rebound. Good drive. Good second shot. Will with a board. That's 2 offensive rebounds for Triton and a bucket. And that's the lead. First time tonight for Triton. Good little step by Flaherty. Flaherty falls down, though. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Triton ball. And they need to clean up the floor there. I don't know where the mop is. I'm going to go find a mop. This isn't quite like the NBA where there's a guy like jumping out there and immediately like going at it.
It's not even like, I mean, I do While I've been at college, I've been doing the basketball games for Mercy College, and even at Mercy, we have guys who pop out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting better and better every season, so got to add that to it. All right, here we go. So Triton inbounding the ball. Now Pentucket's in some kind of a press.
I think the courts are a little still slippery. I mean, Kyle O'Doyle. Jesus,
Overball,
everyone's slipping around.
Down. You know what it is? It's that, and I saw this because I got here early, is that it's all the people who have been walking on the floors on the out of bounds. Well, of course, they're not walking on the court, but they're walking on the out of bounds with their shoes that are all dirty, and it makes it super slick. And when the guy came out and did the floors, he didn't do that area. Ooh, nice pass. Tamino's in, gives it back up to O'Doyle. Good pressure by Pentucket, but they don't manage to get it across. Out of bounds on Pentucket, though. Great pressure by Pentucket. They're forcing Triton to make some bad passes here. We'll see what happens.
Pentucket's always, I mean, even back when I played, Pentucket was always a team that has a very, very good full court press. Good
look inside. Back out to Tamino. Tamino shoot with not his first shot, but his first outside shot. Misses that one. Almost a little mispass there. Willis with the ball, or that's Pacey, sorry, with the ball. And he's going to take a step but not a shot. Flaherty now up top with it, guarded by O'Doyle. He's going to drive. They're going to close down on him. He's going to kick it out. Nothing there. Tamino on him. And are they going to call Tamino? No, they're going to call somebody underneath. Somebody with a foul underneath. White 3. Dylan Shute. I don't know how many fouls that is for him. That's his second. And we're already up to 6 for Triton. And we are not at the 3-minute mark in the first quarter. So Pentucket's going to be shooting a lot of free throws.
I mean, Dylan is a very fast-paced, aggressive player, so it's no surprise that he's already has 2 fouls on him in the first quarter, but he's just got to be a little bit careful on that. I mean, that comes with rhythm as the games go on, but...
Yeah, it's a good point. This is his first game back. That kid was wide open underneath. Good pass. Good little pirouette by that kid, 22. Not sure how that wasn't a travel, but good little pirouette. Tamino drives it down into the corner, kicks it out to O'Doyle up top. O'Doyle looking. A lot of pressure on him. He's about to lose the ball, but he gives it up to Shute. Shute dribbles between 2 players, 3 players, finally gets called. Finally draws a foul. It's on 22, I believe, one of the starters for Pentucket. Tamino back out, Overball back in. How many fouls on Overball already? We'll find out in just a minute. I think Overball has 2 or 3 fouls on him. He's got 2. Good pass into Will. Will's going to go to work. Ball's going to go out of bounds, and they're going to somehow call it for Penn. Nope, they're going to change their minds. They're going to say, no. Refs are going to talk about it. Yeah, I really saw it. No, you didn't really see it. The ref that was right there gets overruled when they give it to Triton. Nice. So set play, Overball is by himself. He didn't see him. He saw him too late. Out to Will. Will with a step. He's going to look. He's going to drive. Kick it back to TJ way up high. TJ's got nowhere to go with it. Has to swing it out to Shute. Back to TJ up top. They got a full 25 seconds. They don't need to rush. O'Doyle way outside with it. Still working. Max to Will. Will going to drive. Going to lose that ball. That little spin move doesn't always work. Oh, great defense. Good foul. You knew he was fouling. You knew he was going to go to the line. Better to make him earn them both, right?
It's interesting talking about Will. I mean, he's not necessarily the best player in the league. I mean, you could even look at Newburyport with Pentucket with McGrail or Newburyport, but with Will, he is hands down probably the best scorer in the Cape Ann League right now. I mean, if you look at it, I think his highest game so far was 36 against Malden earlier in the season. I think it was the first game. And he has the most high-scoring games of anyone in the Cape Ann League right now, with all of them being above, or 2 of them being above 30 points.
Right.
So, which is huge for high school, especially in the Cape Ann League. It's not common exactly to see someone scoring 36 points in a game.
Really shooting a great drive. Little teardrop doesn't go. O'Doyle with a fantastic offensive rebound. Max McKenzie not strong enough. Strong enough on the second try, though. Fantastic work by Max. So here comes Pacey with the ball. Looking around. It's going to go to Flaherty. Flaherty up high. He's going to look for a 3. Doesn't have it. Back to 35-24. That's McGrail, guarded by Shoot. Shoot gets screened. So McGrail now with Jared on him. He's going to try and drive the lane. And he's going to get a shot off. Nope, before the shot.
The other way, yep.
Good call. Good call. It's 2-4. No, 2-2. Oh, it was underneath. He was trying to clear out.
It's one of those things, the big man, I mean, if you get a mismatch and you're trying to post up on a smaller guy down low, it's often pretty hard because the little guy's a lot quicker than you. He's trying to get around you. He's,
right.
It's a lot easier for him to get around you, so you oftentimes have to hook him in a sense. So he got called for that time.
So Dewey now with the ball. He's going to drive to his left. Can't find anything. Back up to Odoy on the left and loses it out of bounds.
All right, so Pentucket's got the inbound here. Moving up the court.
With it up top, looking over ball on him. He's trying to drive. You know, give it to, oh, nice move in the lane, and it rolls. Give it to Pentucket. They actually go to the paint a lot. Flaherty almost falls on that slippery floor. Trips up over ball. He's going to get called for the body. That is tough. He nearly fell down on one end, and then he went down the other end and fell down fouling a guy. Ouch. So how many is that on Flaherty now? Is that his first foul? That's his first. Getting help from Sean Gundrum tonight on the stats as well. Keeping the stats for Pentucket. Long pass out to Shoot. Little football catch he had to make there. Good thing he's a wide receiver. Almost makes a bad pass to Overball, but Overball gets it. Drives. Looks inside. It's going to be Will around to Shoot. That should be an easy bunny. There we go. So look at that, 12-11. This game has been incredibly tight. 40 seconds to go now. And at this pace, they have definitely held Pentucket to a lot less than they're used to scoring. That's a long three, and it's going in and out. Great rebound by 22, and Dylan Shoot is going to get another foul. And we're going to see Jared come back in again. White 3 with the foul on a hold, and that's going to be going to the line. Going to be shooting 1-on-1 here for a little bit longer. And definitely on the line for every single foul in the second quarter. Oh, actually, Max is coming out. Dylan's staying in. We go with the 1-on-1. 22 at the line. Hits the first. So this is Brandon Wilbur? No, I'm reading that wrong. This is Willis, the senior. One of the starters for Pentucket at the line. Not a lot of substitutions so far for Triton. We've seen Tamino come in. We've seen Jared come in. So Willis hits them both, and we're at a 1-point game with 30 seconds left here in the first. Overball bringing it up, looking around. He's going to go to his right.
Shot clock is off.
Shot clock off, nice. So here we go. With Shoot driving, throws it away, and it's going to be Flaherty. Tips it ahead to himself. Going to go up strong and somehow either miss or get fouled. I'm not entirely sure which. And then Pacey stepping out of bounds when he catches it. I don't know how Flaherty wasn't fouled on that, but we'll take it. So somebody's got to come back and inbound that ball. Overball to Will. Will right back to Overball. And here we go with 9 seconds left. Overball looking and looking. Somebody's going to have to take this last shot. Odoy is way outside. He's going to throw it up at the buzzer. Nothing. 13-12 when we end the first. This is not the game we expected.
Nah, kind of a sloppy, in a sense, first half for both, or first quarter for both teams. I mean, 7 fouls to 6 fouls is not anything any coach wants to see after one quarter of play.
No.
And none of the on both sides, none of the passes have been that great. There've been a lot of just
sloppy.
It's been a really sloppy game. So we'll see what the coach can say here to kind of turn it around for their teams and see what they can do.
On the plus side for Triton, holding Pentucket to 13 points in the first quarter means holding them to roughly 50 for the game. which is pretty good. I guess 60, almost 60 for the game, which is good since they average such a high amount, 73.4 for a game. So if they can hold them to that, that's good. They just need to have a strong second quarter. They need to go into the half with a lead. They go into the half with a lead, and I think we're in good shape.
Exactly, yeah.
Look good. So we got the loss the other night to Hamilton Wenham. We got tonight's game. And then Monday they play in the afternoon against Linfield.
Yep.
And at the same time, Pentucket's playing the Newburyport team that we know really well. So that'll be a good test after that. After this game and after the Linfield game, we'll know pretty much where Triton stands in the season. Now, last year they beat Pentucket twice, and then I believe faced them in the playoffs, if I remember right.
Correct, yeah. I believe they did.
And won that game in the playoffs. In the 2 regular season games, both at Pentucket first and then the second game, which was here, combined they beat them by 3 each time.
Right.
So these have been close games always. And I can remember when these Triton seniors were 8th graders, they played Pentucket close every single time. So I know they want to go out with a couple of wins against this Pentucket team. So they got to pull one out tonight, that's for sure.
This is the hardest part of Triton's schedule, really. They have about 4 games back-to-back that are all just very tough opponents. They had Hamilton Wenham, they had Linfield coming up on Monday. I believe they have Masco next week as well. And then Pentucket, which is always a hard game no matter what the record is. So this is a really kind of a make-or-break point in the season right now. They need to win at least 1 or 2 of these games to stay in some sort of playoff contention. Now, obviously, if they lose all 4, they're still in contention. But they will make it a lot harder for them. So we'll need to see them do well, and I think Pentucket's a perfect opponent to try. I mean, it's there's a bit of rivalry between the 2 schools. It's going to be a tough game. As long as they stay focused and hopefully stay a little bit more disciplined, and Will can start putting up shots, then we'll be all set.
So Will is Triton's high scorer. He's got 6. And then we got Dylan Shute coming right off the bench for his first game. Not off the bench, but coming off of the injury list for his first game. And he's got 4 for Triton. And Flaherty, of course, is Pentucket's high scorer so far. Looking at the Cape Ann League, or not even the Cape Ann, like the local area scoring leaders, we know that Will has the most points of anybody with 173. But McGrail here for Pentucket is pretty high on the list. He's 3rd. And then you drop down, still in the top 10, we have Flaherty and Pacey. So out of the top 10 scores in the region, so we're talking Triton, Pentucket, Amesbury,
Govs is
Georgetown,
on there for no
Governors
reason.
is on there for some reason. Newburyport. Out of all those, 3 out of the top 10 are playing for Pentucket tonight. So that's something the credit to the Triton defense if they can hold those guys in check. And then when you look at 3-pointers, it's actually Flaherty who leads the league. With 3-pointers. I don't think we've seen him hit one tonight, though. I don't even think Pentucket's taken a 3-pointer tonight, have they?
I believe they've taken 1 or 2.
They've taken 1.
They've taken 1, yeah. But no, it's interesting because you look at Triton. They have they have one of the best scorers in the Cape Ann League with Will.
Right.
And then their defense isn't huge. I mean, it has waves. For example, we saw in the Hamilton Wenham game the other day, from basically about the 7-minute mark in the second quarter to the 3rd-minute mark in the 4th quarter, they shut Hamilton Wenham down, and they played phenomenal defense.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they struggled in that 4th quarter to start putting up shots, and they started struggling on defense. But it goes in waves, so they're a very offensive-focused team, and I think that with a team like this, they're going to need to really focus on their defense. Actually,
they have to shut them down.
Right.
So Flaherty swings it out to McGrail. McGrail, looking back, goes way out to Flaherty. He's almost on the line. Overball with good defense out there on him. And Triton's playing really up high defense, and as a result, they get inside with the ball. So that's going to be Pentucket's game if they can swing that ball around fast enough and get it inside. Overball bringing the ball up now. He's got Max McKenzie, Will, O'Doy, and now Jared on the floor with him. They roll it around. He's going to look to try and get Will wide open, and it's not there, but he's going to go to O'Doy. O'Doy's got nothing. 15 seconds on the clock now. Will up top. Overball looking at Max. Doesn't go to him. Instead, he brings it back up top again. All the way out to Will in the far right. He's looking, takes a step. Tries to go and has to kick it around to O'Doy. Beautiful pass. Comes off. Jared can't pick up the rebound. O'Doy off his foot. Good little series there. I mean, they worked for a good shot. Will made a great pass, but it was work, one shot.
which is always disappointing.
Yeah. Pacey now with the ball. Triton's playing, again, a very high aggressive defense, trying to trap, and that almost worked. Out of bounds, neither ref wants to call it. They're going to give it to Pentucket. Right there is when your student section needs to jump up and yell that the ball's going the other way. That would have helped. Come on, kids. Get in this game. All right, back out to Pacey, to Flaherty. The trap is on. Will trying to get a grab there. Doesn't. Great play by McGrail. Flaherty with a beautiful shot from the free throw line.
Somehow snuck under Overbaugh there as he was left his feet.
Overbaugh kicks to O'Doy. Timeout, timeout Triton. So again, we need to see some offense. That's what it comes down to. Triton needs to just shoot the ball more.
Yeah, I mean, and they need to, when it comes down to it, they need to be grabbing the boards. I mean, we saw just down there in that last play, that little set there, that they were grabbing the offensive boards, but they just weren't being able to put it right back up. And,
right,
and I think,
right.
and they weren't grabbing it solidly. A lot of times it was a grab, but then they would lose it quickly. So they really need to focus on grabbing it and either recognizing that they have a shot or kicking it out to a wing who might be open, especially when you have like 4 Pentucket guys crashing around you. You know that someone's going to be open on the wing.
Right. Although earlier in the game, Max had that one shot that he got the rebound, right back up with it.
Exactly.
And got it in. So, all right, take over for a second, Leo. I got to clear my throat.
Yeah, so we'll see what Triton can do here. Coming back in, they've given up 4 points now, back-to-back unanswered points now to start this start this quarter. So see what they can do as they really want to. I think they're trying to find Will, but they're just not. He doesn't. Every time he's being tightly covered. Pentucket knows that he's one of the best scorers. Good shot there by Overbaugh. It doesn't fall though.
Almost got a rebound, and Will then almost got a strip, but almost, and they're still down by 5. Make that 7.
It should have been a 2. I have no idea how that was.
They called that a 3. No,
he was about a foot over the line, but.
Yeah, they'll have to go back to the replay, except they can't do that in high school.
Nope.
You gotta feed that ball inside. You got Max. Somebody's got to work it in. O'Doy up top with it, swings it to Overbaugh. Overbaugh to O'Doy again, who's got to shoot. Somebody has to. And that's going to be an air ball. Max almost slips the line. They got it. Yeah, it is dangerous out there.
Yeah, it's like skates out there. I think part of it is this crazy weather. It's foggy, muggy, and just everything is just sticky in a sense. Even in the gym, it just feels sticky.
Yeah, it does. Maybe that's what's making my throat mess up. All right, here we go. McGrail kicks it to Flaherty. Flaherty guarded by O'Doy, swings it over to Pacey with shoot on him. They look underneath. Swing it back to Pacey. He's trying to work it into McGrail, who's got Tamino on him. And he somehow gets that ball by Will and Tamino to get the basket. So Tamino now pressing fast, brings it up behind the back. Look, he swings it out to O'Doy. O'Doy looking outside again, but it's got to go back to Tamino. Tamino has nothing. O'Doy with nothing, shoot with nothing. They can't seem to work something into the inside or to an open shooter. There's Will with a nice 3, but it doesn't go. O'Doy came in for the rebound and it went long. There's Flaherty, and that's why he's got so many points in this league. And he's on the line again. Kid released down the floor pretty fast on that shot.
Yeah. This is not the start to the second quarter that I think Triton was looking for.
No, no, down 1 to now down 10. That was awfully quick. Second foul there on Will Parsons. Flaherty back at the line again. He's already their high scorer in this game. He's likely to stay that way. Some kind of question here now. The ref's having a chat. He's taking 3? How's he taking 3?
No, I think that the coaches were arguing that it should have been a 2, the earlier call, because his foot, if you look, his foot was basically on the corner of that little red corner there on the line. His front foot was.
And they still called it a 3.
And they still called it a 3, and they went back and asked, can that not be a 3, because that was clearly not a 3. And they didn't. They decided not to change it.
Well, better not be a 1-point game. All right, Tamino with the ball now. Feeds it inside to Will. Will with a great pass into shoot. Shoot, kicks it out to O'Doy. O'Doy cannot get the 3 to fall. And here comes Pentucket again. Long pass to McGrail, inside to 40. 40 almost slips and falls. And actually, that was a travel when he almost slipped and fell. It's a foul. I'm not sure on that time. Calling it down there. Green's shooting.
No. Max McKenzie shooting.
Oh, Max McKenzie shooting. All right. 31.
No, Dylan Shute shooting.
Anybody shooting. Dylan Shute at the line. Dylan Shute with number 3, which was TJ Overball's number. That's what happens when the upperclassman comes in off the IR. He gets to take his number back. So Shute makes the first. Pentucket at only 7 fouls. And we're almost halfway through this quarter. It felt like they were going to be at the line, like Triton was going to be at the line every single play. And actually, they haven't gone over 10 for Triton yet either. A weird first quarter, a weird second quarter.
It's funny, talking about numbers, Colin Gansemiller, who's out on the IR right now, is number 4, actually. So I feel like TJ is a little worried that a bigger, higher number jersey is not going to fit him. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to take as many small jerseys as I can before I finally have to put on number 22 or whatever the highest number is going to be.
That's
Except I'm not oh, no, Owen is number 0. So
yeah, number 0. And Will is number 23. I think that's the highest number on this team. So
looks like we got the student section out there helping mop up.
There we go. There we go. Get it going, boys. On this end, not on the other end, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Except then again, Triton is actually shooting on that end, so that wouldn't exactly help. But
defensive rebounds. It's all about defense in this game, right?
And it's the idea that counts.
That's right.
So.
That's right. You're right. Good for them. Using their own codes to do it. That's nice. Or somebody else's code.
I think towels, actually.
Yeah. All right. Pentucket ball. 4 minutes, 46 left in this quarter. In this half, 10-point game, 14-24. Triton pressing. Looks like a full court man-to-man. Depending on what Dylan does. Dylan's going to come in. Yep, full court man-to-man, and he gets beat. And McGrail's going to come all the way down and drive. Clean block, and the ball just goes out of bounds. I'm not sure how. All right, there we go.
I'm also not sure on the thinking there by Max McKenzie or Will to not try to take the charge. At least one of them tried to take the charge. You know what I mean? They were both down there. He had to get around both of them. He had no option to pass.
Yeah.
He had to go into someone.
The pass goes out to McGrail with Shute on him. Will comes up a little bit too late to make that steal. O'Doy gets beat by Flaherty. Flaherty off his foot. And a kick. And it's going that way somehow. All right. So Pentucket ball again. And how is that a new shot clock? Right?
I believe the shot clock does reset when it's a kickball violation.
All right. I'm not crazy about that rule, but fair enough. Ball goes way out to Flaherty. Flaherty's going to drive. Nope. Kick it out to McGrail. McGrail with the drive. Can't get it in. Tries again. This time he gets fouled. It's probably going to be by Will. Hard to see. Ref's going to come over and tell us. 1-5. Oh, fouls on O'Doy. Is that his first of the night? That's his second of the night. Well, we're going to see the bench come off pretty soon. At this fouling rate, they're not going to have any players left.
Yeah.
So Tommy Lapham looking like he's ready to come in. He played well the other night against Hamilton Wenham.
Yeah, he had a short little spout. He did get the never wanted air ball in front of an away crowd, or in front of as you're on the road. Yeah. So it's never fun to hear air ball chanted after you shoot. But
then again, oh man, Will was so wide open underneath they couldn't see him. Good little spin move by Flaherty out to 40 with the long shot. I think that's Willis. No, that's got to be a push on 22. And that's got to be 22-second foul at least. 22 with the push, and that is his second foul.
Yeah, that both of those fouls have been away from the ball, like offensive fouls. So.
Right. What's the call here now? Now what are we going to call him? Bunch of chitter chatter going on. Dylan Shute is a disruptive force out there for the referees and the other team. So, all right. Well, Max is on the line now. Shooting a 1-on-1. Yeah, the foul is definitely against Max. Oh, but it's not. We're not shooting.
It's an offensive foul, right?
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Very confused why that was even a conversation, but
yeah, it should have been pretty
feel
straightforward. Tamina with the ball has got to kick it out to Adoy. Adoy looking into Max. It's not there. Still not there. It goes to Will. Will in the corner. He likes to shoot from there, but he's got to get a little bit of room off his foot. Now here's the test. Is it going to reset the 30? Or was that just a mistake earlier? I think that was a mistake earlier.
You might be right.
I don't think they should have reset the 30 on that. And here we go. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Yep. Not always right, but I'm sometimes right. Will with the ball, double teamed, has to get it away to Tamino. Tamino looks inside to Max. Max kisses it. Will, that's a nice pass and a bucket.
Beautiful shot.
That's how they get back in this game. Kick it inside, kick it outside. 17-25 here with 3:30 left before we go to the half. And there's a nice shot by 23, but he's going to miss it over the back by Max, but he got away with it. It's going that way. Here we go. Triton ball again. Jared Druin coming back in. Not sure who's coming out. Yep, Max coming out. Somebody's got to help inbound the ball down here. He can't do it by himself.
I got to say, one thing that Triton does really well is they get the bench very involved in the game.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, you don't see that a lot in a lot of other high schools. I think the only other one that I've really seen it in, I think.
Nice shot by Adoy, but it's an air ball.
It's
going to go to Pacey.
I think part of it is it's the Clay legacy, because Clay seems to have brought it to Newburyport. Yeah. When we did play Newburyport, they were also very up and adamant about stuff. So I think that's a Clay legacy that we're seeing that I think helps Triton a lot, to be honest. Great shot there by Tamino.
Jake Etter buried one for Pentucket, a three-pointer. Good defense by Triton. Ooh, that's a close one. Not sure how that was out on Adoy, but somehow it was out on Adoy.
I think even number 31 knows that.
Even Pacey knows that.
Yeah. I think Pacey looked right at Adoy and was like, yeah.
So it looks like coach is going with a offense-defense substitution, bringing Jared out just for defense. While Max is, bringing out Max for defense while Jared's on offense. But here comes Pentucket with the ball. Long pass in the corner, almost loses it. McGrail with it now. Gets a little bit of a screen, goes around. He's going to try and drive the lane. No. On the floor. I have no idea how that's a call on Will. Yeah, that's a call on Will. That's really hard to understand that one.
That's his third, so he's going to be in foul trouble. So
yeah, he is in foul trouble. We got 2.5 minutes left before we get to the half, and that's his third, and he's their high scorer. And Dylan Schutz also got 3. So the two top scorers for Triton right now are in foul trouble. And there's a bucket from McGrail that's going to make this a 10-point game again, 29-19.
And that, I mean, in a game like this, it's dangerous to be in foul trouble early on because it's such a high tempo. Like the emotions are high. Yep. The adrenaline's going. There's a decent-sized crowd. You're going to want to be playing at your best. Yep. So it's dangerous to get that many fouls so early on.
And the refs are calling everything, so he's going to be in trouble. Jack, you got to take that shot. You got to take that shot at this point in the game. You guys are down 10. You got to make something happen. Good kick out to Will. Will with a little step, and he's going to get blocked. Get blocked by McGrail. And he's McGrail on the other end with a beautiful pass. Oh, Willis can't hold on to that. Is that Willis? I'm going to probably butcher that. No, that's Stiss. Or Stice. Stice or Stiss, whatever we want to call him. Overball back in the game. And Will out. Will's probably going to have to sit the rest of this half, which is good. Get him some rest. That way he can elevate and get some shots going in the second half. Chimino on the ball on the right. Looks out to Overball with a deep 3, and that's going to be short. Ball almost goes, it does go out of bounds. Like Odoa stepped out with it. So they're going to go back to a press now, I hope. Nope, they're coming back. It is surprising how little high school teams press, to be honest. And watching a couple of the girls' games, they press a lot more. Not sure why that is. All right, McGrail with the ball. And Max does the Olay thing and lets him go by. And McGrail ends up getting a foul called on him. And Dylan's going to go to the line. So McGrail, I don't know if McGrail's in foul trouble. Is that his second or third, Sean? His third foul for McGrail. And he's off. He's on the bench now, too.
Talking about full court press, you see like I watch a lot of college basketball too, between D1 and then D2. My school's D2, so I've ended up watching a lot of basketball over this past winter, and college basketball teams are kind of the same. They don't press a lot unless it's a late game, close play.
1-4, 1-4 or 1-5? I think it was on Flaherty.
I believe it was on Flaherty.
I think that foul was on Flaherty.
Shooting again.
No, it should be O'Doy shooting, because it was O'Doy that was on the floor with Flaherty. No, shoot again. That's a strange foul.
It is a weird.
These refs have been determined to make sure there's no rhythm and flow to this game.
No.
They're doing their best to make this as herky-jerky as possible.
Between weird out of bounds, threes that should have been twos, and just very strange calls. It's keeping us guessing, that's for sure.
So we're both in the double bonus with a minute and a half to play. A 9-point game, and Pentucket has both of its high scorers sitting on the bench now. Meanwhile, Triton's still got Dylan shooting the game. He's in danger of surpassing Will pretty soon here. He hits them both. Pacey looks to 35. 35 with a good little move. 23 doesn't want to shoot. Willis with a long pass over. Nope, doesn't go. No, that's Stiss. Stiss with a pass to 23. He's finally going to shoot, and he's going to hit. No, that looked good when it went up, didn't it?
Very strange jump shot for him there, that's for sure.
Max with an excellent rebound. Kicks it out to Dylan. Tamino looks to go, decides not to. Max is battling down low. Give him credit for that. Overball up top. Looks to Tamino. Finally goes to Max. He's going to work it, and he walked. Yeah. He took a little extra hop step with it. That was almost like a Madden glitch, the way he did that little hop. Nope, so now he's not coming back in. He was going to put in Druin, but now he's not.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I was a freshman in high school, Sam McKenzie, Max's older brother, was a senior, if I remember correctly. Good defense there by Tamino. But when I was a freshman, Sam McKenzie was on was a senior on the varsity. And it's interesting to see the two play. You can see a lot of Sam in Max. I mean, growing up, they must have played a lot together, and he must have coached him a lot. But I feel like Max is a much better shooter, mid-range and outside shooter, than Sam ever was. Right. Sam was a much more physical, driving player, and I feel like Max is a little bit more timid when it comes to driving, but he does do a good job posting up. Right. So it's interesting. It's interesting to watch.
So foul on Overball gives Pentucket the ball back again. And I don't know how many that is on Overball yet, but that's a lot. This team has just gotten way too many. That's 3 on Overball, too. There isn't going to be anybody left in this game pretty soon. 35 with a great move, and that's going to be on shoot, and that's going to be his 4th. It's got to be on Dylan, right?
No, it's actually on Tamino.
On Tamino. Well, that's a plus. So, again, this is going to be, I mean, this has already been a long game for a high school game. This is going to be a really long game at this pace. But only an 8-point game, so Triton has managed to clamp down. I don't think Pentucket scored in a while. I mean, it's been a couple of possessions up and down the court. We really haven't seen Pentucket get anything. They're going to get a basket. No, they're not going to get that one either. Crazy underneath. And somehow there was a foul by 12 on that.
To be honest, I'm very confused right now with half of these calls by this round. I don't think we've had a solid actual set so far. I don't think either team has actually solidly driven down and been back and forth. It's been a tennis match of fouls in a sense.
That is not a good description for a basketball game. A tennis match of fouls. I don't like that. I think when they go back and they put this broadcast up and they give it a title, that's what they can call it. Triton or Pentucket versus Triton, a tennis match of fouls. That just doesn't sound good. So O'Doy with a shot and he hits it. And it's now an 8-point game. No, sorry, a 7-point game. Math is not my strong suit. as you are well aware. So O'Doy at the line with 44 seconds left. So this is where coaching comes in. Pentucket needs to get the ball, get it down the court, and get a quick shot off so they can get a 2 for 1. And they have just enough time, the 30-second clock, that they can force Triton to shoot before the clock runs out. Hits them both. So Pentucket needs to go fast on this, and they're not gonna. They're gonna get stuck with the press. Can't get by it. Oh, beautiful steal by Max. Looks to O'Doy, manages to take the shot, but it's a little off. O'Doy with a phenomenal board, and another foul. Another foul. That's gonna be on 31. Is that Pacey? It is foul on Pacey, right? Here we go. That's offensive rebound. That was excellent. And Max making that steal there, really good heads-up play. At the pace they're going, though, it's only going to be O'Doy and Max that are going to be left in this game by the end. That's good. Pentucket, seriously, when we go back and watch, I don't think Pentucket has a point in the last 2, maybe 3 minutes. I feel like they've been stuck at 29 for longer than I can remember. Tommy Lapham in the game now, goes in for shoot. Tommy Lapham with the bionic knee. Doesn't it look like it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, moves like a football player, plays like a football player, which isn't a bad thing. And there's the first basket for Pentucket in quite a while. On a really quick press break. Comes down, goes to O'Doy up top, O'Doy to Overball.
No shot clock. So
no shot clock, yep. They get the hands team in now. They got to make something happen. Somebody's got to take a shot. And that's a foul underneath, and again on Tamino. Right? Yeah. 1-1.
To be honest, at this point, I mean, I know I originally said that it was an undisciplined game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even undisciplined at this point. I think it's just everything is a foul in these refs' eyes.
Right. It's very strange. It is a very strange game. So the ball's down there with 9.2 seconds left. Pacey with it. He's going to bring it down. He's got very little time, but he's going to somehow get off. Nope, a shot by 35 is going to go. That hurts, and the clock runs at this level. It doesn't stop. That hurts. That hurts, that hurts. So it goes from a 6-point game to a 9-point game, just like that as we hit the half.
But hey, I mean, they were up by, at one point, I think it was 12 was the lead at one point.
So yeah.
They brought it back down to 5 or to 4 even. So it's not a bad, to be honest, I think that ended up being a much better end of the half than I think they definitely started off that quarter.
It did. Pentucket was stuck at 29 for a long time, and they shut it down. They gave him the 5 points at the very end, but that's still pretty good.
Exactly.
Still pretty good. So, all right, when we go to the half now, we're going to do an interview that we had with, that Liam and I, not Leo and I, had with Coach Perry earlier this week, welcoming him to Triton and talking about what's going on with the season. So with that, we'll go to the halftime.
All right, so Coach, in high school and college, did you play any sports, and how were you at those sports?
Yeah, I played 3 sports in high school, football, basketball, and track and field. So, I'm a believer in the 3-sport athlete. I think that's important. And then in college, I concentrated on basketball, and I played basketball at Colby College and scored 1,000 points and started for 3 years. And it was a great experience, both academically and athletically. And that's what I try to lend and tell these kids. That's what they got to aspire to.
All right, so now you move on to coaching. How would you describe your coaching style?
I mean, I'd say I was demanding. I want the kids to play at the highest level that they're capable of playing. We go out and we work from the individual skills to the team concepts, and we just continually do it from there. And these guys have done a great job. They've adapted to what I'm asking for. We run many sets. They're not as used to that as they have been in the past. So I'm a guy who likes to run sets when the opportunity presents itself. And they're getting used to that also.
So how much, talking about coaching style, how much do you use some outside resources, or you look at other stuff to keep up with new trends, or how do you make sure that you're always getting better yourself as a coach, even as you're demanding that the players get better?
Well, yeah, I mean, every coach is basically a student themselves. So I'm either going to clinics in the off season, talking to other coaches, bringing other coaches in, and then just, with the video today, you can, on the internet, you can get what you want. I'll admit that I am the inventor of nothing, and I steal what I have, what's out there, and then I fit it to my style. I adapt. I chunk. Just like in any industry, you're going to look at the best, and then you're going to fit it to the means that you have, and you do that, and that's how I do it.
Well, you're talking about that. Do you have any coaches that you look up to or you take a lot of stuff from?
Well, I remind the kids all the time that living in New England gives you excellence in coaching, because you get to look at Coach Belichick. I'm a real, just from afar, I don't know him, but I'm a mentor of his. And then, obviously, Brad Stevens, the way he runs the sets, he's unbelievable. I think he's the best coach in the NBA. So I tell the guys to watch them all the time, and not only in how they coach, but what they preach, what they talk on game day, how you approach the game. And then I'm just from a family of coaches, so my father coached for 50 years. My father-in-law coached for 53 years. He was in the same classroom. I really looked up to them. That was, my father was Ernest Perry, and James Curtin was at Burlington High baseball. Just, again, more their approach. They weren't basketball coaches. And then my youngest brother's the head coach at Bryant University, and I go down there and I talk to Tim O'Shea, who's the basketball coach, but I also look at my brother's style, and then my other brother's out at the Texans, and he's the receivers coach, and the demands and everything that they do. So I'm sort of in an embryo of coaching, so I have to look at everything that is told to me, and but I enjoy it.
Yeah, we got Liam's in his cross-country gear. You're in some football gear, and we're talking about basketball. So I guess
Exactly.
that reinforces the three-sport athlete. So for kids that are out there, basketball is a team sport, but it's also all about individual skill. So, thinking about 7th and 8th graders out there, hey, what's the varsity coach say I ought to do? I ought to work on my individual skills, or I ought to be playing a lot of pickup ball to get better at the team game?
Well, that's a good segue in who I watch. And one of the guys that I used to watch, especially when my brother was at Princeton for a long time, was Pete Carrill. And he says the whole game comes down to ball handling. So you start, you got to be ball handling. You got to have the ball in your hand. You got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to pass. And that leads to the shooting. So what I suggest to all these kids is do a set of dribbling drills. And like you said earlier, you can go to the internet and you can get 10 dribbling drills from the best players in the country, and then emulate them as best you can. And then when you go to camps and clinics like us, and I'll be doing camps and clinics this summer, we will show you the individual styles. And then shooting, a minimum you should be doing 200, 300 shots a day, and I hope some of the guys that really want to be good, it's 400 to 500 shots a day. It's like anything else. You got to do it daily, and you got to work on your skills daily.
So what brought you to Triton? What was the appeal of coming to this school and this conference?
Really just when I walked in and I saw the gym and the setup, to have 2 gyms and to have 14 baskets and to have the ability to work with the younger kids to build your program, that's a huge plus. I've been very, very pleasantly surprised with the talent and the passion for the game. So it's been a great fit, and I've really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Liam, other questions?
I got one kind of from the team. They were asking me to ask you this today. If you had to pick on a team, who would you say the softest player is?
So they all give great effort. I'm not going to get into that specific, but what I've liked and what I tell when I go to my wife or back to Andover is just the receptiveness of each and every kid and the quality of student athlete. When I took their grades and their SATs, and just the ability to look at each one and see that they have put a lot of effort into their schoolwork, a lot of effort into basketball. And then, like I said, so now I'm trying to bring it and say, make basketball a priority, make it sort of, you know, you got to do your schoolwork, and then you got to do your basketball. And if we do that, it's going to be a good merge. But they're all fairly tough, and then when they have to deal with me, they're tough.
So you said you played in college. Is there a player on the Triton team that reminds you of you?
I was a point guard. I mean, TJ reminds me of me when I was young. I didn't always look like this. I sort of had his body type as a sophomore, and I was quick. And then being a point guard, I gravitate towards those guys.
Right.
And he can shoot it for a point guard, and that's how I was too. I was able to shoot and control it. It was a good time. So TJ has done a nice job in that regard. But you know, I can relate to most of these kids because they're academic guys, and that's what I really enjoy.
So I got another tough one. The girls are practicing behind us. I know you coached girls last year. So be honest, man. What's your preference, coaching girls or coaching boys?
I just hope this doesn't get broadcast in Andover, but I like coaching boys. I mean, that was part of the reason I had done that for 4 years, but I had done boys for 24 years, and to tell Liam, my girls in Andover were as tough as nails. So I'd say none of those girls were soft.
All right, well, I got one more. So you're talking about your brother a little bit earlier and how he worked for the Houston Texans. You're always seen wearing Texans gear. You want to just give a little more background on that?
Yeah, like I said, my brother and my two brothers, there's 5 boys and 2 girls in the family, and at one point or another, 6 of us have coached, and my grandfather was a coach, my father was a coach, and so they just took avenues. Probably after seeing what you go through in high school and after seeing me, they went from the college level. So, you know, he's been a head coach at Merrimack, but he's coached at Brown, Dartmouth. He's coached all over the country, Hofstra. And then he just got the opportunity to go out with the Texans, and he had coached with Bill O'Brien down at Brown. And when this opportunity came up, he took the opportunity. He really enjoys it.
And do you share, like, do all the brothers talk about their coaching styles and tips and help each other out?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little worse when they were very close, because on Thanksgiving they would all come to the Thanksgiving Day game.
Right.
And then cutting the turkey was basically cutting me up in what I did that day, mostly the errors that I did in play calling or anything else. But it's always a fun time to get together because you just rehash either similarities, and it's funny to watch, like, things that happen at the high school level, they happen at the college level, and they're just different penalties or different situations, but you have to deal with it, and then you make the comparison, well, at the pro level, they never do this, or this is what they do, and so it's just nice to see.
Well, thanks. Liam, any more questions?
I think I'm good. I got all mine out.
All
Just
right.
want to get everybody out. So we need the fans. Tuesdays are tough because we're playing a little earlier, but Friday nights, make sure that we fill this place. And I'm looking forward to coaching from all the kids who are first grade all the way up, and I'll get to know their names by the summer. So
Fantastic.
I'm excited about Triton.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Coach.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, back to the game now. Just about to get underway. Triton still hasn't come out of the locker room though, so can be troubling. But
5 seconds left before that horn blows. Yeah.
Exactly.
And here's shoot at least. So they're going to play one against. They're going to play 2. They're going to play there. They go.
Hey, here they
All
come.
Triton's
So yeah, so basically, I mean, what they're really going to be looking for, what Triton especially is going to be looking for, is that they need to be more disciplined. I think these refs are very happy at calling stuff. They have the trigger finger on the fouls, that's for sure. So they're definitely going to be wanting to be more disciplined when it comes to that aspect.
Right.
However, they need to start to shoot. They need to. Pentucket has been playing a phenomenal 2-3 defense.
Yep.
And it's shutting Will down. And so they need to be more willing to shoot other than Will, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they need to find Dylan, and they all need to drive. Like they just keep swinging it around. That does nothing. And so we need to see what they're going to do here. If if we get underway. I mean, the refs and the coaches and Sean McGinnis are having a little conversation now, though.
Yeah, they're having a chat about the floor, because the floor behind the what is now going to be the home basket has been slick, and it's been slick the whole night. But you know what? You played half the game going one way, play half the game going the other way.
And there's
it's a
some
fair
little
game.
kids running on it right now, so it looks like it's fine to me.
Right.
But
so they're taking a look. So Flaherty is the high scorer so far. Gus Flaherty for Pentucket. He's got 12. Eder, who we never said his name. Jake Eder, number 35, a sophomore, has 2 threes for Pentucket, and he comes in with 8 points as their second highest scorer. And then we have, of course, Will Parsons is Triton's highest scorer, and Dylan Shute right behind him. I believe it's 9 and 8. Is that correct, Eric? Yep, 9 and 8 as far as Triton scores go. And really, nobody else has put up much of anything. We've got Max McKenzie with a bucket, and Kyle O'Doy with 2. At least Kyle O'Doy with 4 points. I'm thinking those are all on the line.
yeah, I
He
mean,
was at the line a lot.
I mean,
they were all on the line. Yeah.
when it comes down to it, they haven't been. It's been kind of weird. Like, they've been sharing the ball very well. They've been passing it a lot.
Yep.
It's just that no one wants, as I just said, no one wants to shoot.
Yeah.
And so I think what's going to happen is that the more you share the ball, it'll come.
Right.
But
Right.
you can only do so much. I mean, there is a shot clock. This isn't like
Right.
youth league basketball where there's
Right.
no shot clock. They need to get a shot off. But what they need to do is they need to move it to where someone can drive. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a 2-3 defense. A 2-3 defense, to be honest, is one of the easiest defenses to cut
Right.
on.
Right.
There's 2 gaps right in the
Right.
corner, right in the wing spots, and those guys need to cut. And if they cut to the basket and
draw.
find
Right.
that bounce pass, it's gonna work.
Right.
And especially with someone like Dylan back on, who's not scared of driving and
Right.
very acrobatic when it comes to. I mean, he can go up and just spin
Right.
around,
Right.
and do all sorts of
He
fun
had a
stuff
little
with it.
dipsy-do shot.
Right,
early in the
and
game,
so
yeah.
they really need to be looking for those wings to be making
Right.
cuts, because
Or one of the best plays they had was, I think it was actually, it was Overbaugh who was on the wing, and McKenzie came across the lane into that spot you're talking about against the 2-3 zone. They got him the ball, the defense collapsed on him, they kicked it out to Will, and Will hit the 3.
Exactly.
Or hit a 2 or something along 2. But you're right, they need to penetrate in order to get some clean open shots. It's funny, this Triton team, other than Will, is not sort of, shoot happy as opposed to, or trigger happy as opposed to Triton
Right.
teams we've seen in the past. Just to throw some names out there, Luke Reiniger, he wasn't trigger happy, but he wasn't afraid to shoot the ball.
no, but I mean, if you look at that team,
Joe Kennedy would shoot the ball every time he touched it.
Adam Bellezza.
Adam Bellezza was a dead-eye shooter all the time. He was fantastic.
When he got in, even Ryan Sharkey,
Ryan
back
Sharkey,
to Ryan Sharkey, when he used to get in the game, he was I think he was one of the only big men in the entire Cape Ann League who could shoot the lights out of a 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's pretty much all he could. I mean,
Yeah.
he could bang around. Trust me, I used to play against him. He had some sharp elbows, that kid. But
kid.
he could drain the lights out of 3s. And so they
and he
need
didn't
to,
look like it. He looked like
right,
a big man
exactly.
all the time.
And so that he would.
And now
he
the
would-
lights going down.
Everything's falling apart in this gym. But he could really, truly catch the ball and just shoot. And
Right.
I think that's one thing that these guys can learn if they look back at the tape of some of these
Right.
older teams.
Right. I swear
Is finding guys to play. I think Dylan Schute's now trying to get into Flaherty's head a little bit as
Going
he's
down there, chatting
going
with
down,
him.
chatting with him, shooting it up.
You gotta love Dylan Shute. Like, unafraid to just sort of, let's go mix it up. He's like, oh, I can't shoot down that end because
I have to
all
say
the coaches are down there.
he is not the best trash talker of all of Triton basketball history. That award 100% goes to Corey Parsons.
Yes. Yes.
Corey Parsons
Yes.
was the biggest, and he's sitting right down here in front of us. But he was. I don't think I was scared to play him. I think I played him maybe twice 1-on-1 back when he was a junior. I was a sophomore, and he just every single shot missed.
Yeah.
Time, turnover, everything was just making fun of you.
Right.
And
Right.
all in good
Right.
fun at the
Right.
end of the day.
All
but
to make you a better player. Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But he was the biggest trash talker, especially to other teams.
Yeah.
The only other one who I can think of in the history of Triton basketball or at least in my history of Triton basketball, who was great was Eric Rybicki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Who was a very good
Not sure what's not to interrupt you, but I'm not sure what's going on, whether they're going to play or not. This is getting a little, it's a long delay. And they're still trying to figure out what's going on with the court. The refs seem to be talking to the Pentucket coach. I swear I felt a drop come down, but that's because we're right under these
giant
HVACs.
Yeah.
So just in case you're curious, Max McKenzie with 3 defensive rebounds and 2 offensive rebounds. Leads Triton. Kyle O'Doy has 1 defensive and 3 offensive. I swear I just felt some more rain coming on my head. And can't decide if we're going to play this game or not. It's hard to tell. Looks like Pentucket is gathering their gear to go. They're clearing out. Looks like Triton's doing the same. And so I can't hear what they just announced, but it sounds like they're calling the match.
No matter what, it's very confusing. We're going to try to grab Dylan Shute possibly here to come up and do an interview.
Yeah. Oh, 5-minute delay.
Oh, okay.
All right, just a 5-minute delay. Okay. That's not so bad. Yeah, I'm feeling that too. We're getting a little bit rained on here, but that's okay. Just move in.
It's just a weird, messy game so far.
So the weather gods and the referees don't want this game to be anything other than a kind of a disjointed mess. No, we're good. I think we can keep rolling. Just wondering whether we should take a break. Leo, you can talk forever, so we'll just let you go.
Exactly. I mean, one thing we talk about, and we've talked about him a lot, is Will. But I know there's always the question of will they play next year? Will they play in college, especially when they're a senior? And I know we have had this conversation, but Will is a very talented player. The thing is that on this, he's getting a lot of time on this team, but at that small forward role, which is perfect for him when he is, how tall is he? It doesn't say here, but
6'3" maybe.
He's like 6, he's about
a little
6'3".
taller than me, I think.
But when it comes to a college team, he's going to be a shooting guard.
Yeah.
And so
which is fine.
He's great. He's a great shooter. It's just that he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And so that can be a challenge sometimes when it comes to a shooting guard, because I know, for example, we have on Mercy's team, we have one of the main shooting guards is this kid Chris Myers, and he's a small, skinny guy who's a combo guard. You can bring it both up. I don't know if I would be 100% comfortable with Will bringing it up. I mean, he's got good moves, but he's a little bit slower. Especially when if for example, if in a trap like this, he's not going to be the quickest guy bringing it up. So I feel like even if he's going to go on to do D3, whether it be D2, D3, we'll see.
Where he plays,
but I think he's definitely one thing that he should definitely work on for the rest of the season is ball handling. Which,
if you watch the halftime, that was what we asked Coach Perry. If you're a 7th or 8th grader out there and you want to play basketball for Triton varsity, what should you be doing now? And his advice was ball handling. Yes, you need to take 200, 300, 400, 500 shots a day, but you really need to improve your ball handling. And he said go online, look up drills and stuff and do that. So set the seniors aside for a minute. So what you've seen so far, Tamino's a junior, I believe, right?
Yep.
O'Doy is a freshman. Overball is a sophomore. So there's 3, and McKenzie is a junior. So there's 4 out of your 5 starters that are coming back next year.
Yep.
On the bench, I know we have Thomas Marshall, who's a junior.
Nick Doring.
Junior? Thomas?
Thomas is junior, I believe so.
Right. Really strong forward when they get him in the game. Decent outside shot as well. Nick Doring is a lights-out shooter when they get him in the game, and I believe he's only a sophomore. So they're going to have a strong team next year, and they've got 2. They got 2 guys. And is Shute a junior, or is he a senior?
Shute is a junior. Yeah, he's a junior. So
so they're in really good shape for next year, especially ball handling. I mean, they're not going to have a Jared Druin, they're not going to have a Henrik Ernst or an Owen that's a presence inside. They're also not going to have Tommy Lapham trying to hit the rafters when he shoots the ball. But they're going to have a lot of speed. They're going to have They're going to be a small, quick team, which can be dangerous. There goes Tommy again. I swear he's trying to hit the.
And that's one of those things that once again, is a bit of a Clay legacy, and I think also attributes to the guys who run Triton Youth basketball in general. But
Indeed.
Triton
Matt
Youth,
Doring, Nick's father.
exactly, yeah. So Triton Youth basketball has been, I mean, when I was coming up in the system, there was not a lot of high school presence in the sense that you would be going to the games, you would be, I went to maybe from when I started playing in like 4th grade, or when I started playing here in 4th grade all the way up to 8th grade, I may have gone to 3 or 4, if that, varsity games. And so I think that they've done a really great job fostering that culture with the young guys coming up. And so, and it pays dividends.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that this is the best team that Triton has had in the last 5 years.
It's a solid team.
It's a solid team. And it's a big change from even when I was a freshman and an 8th grader, where there hadn't been that solid team for a while.
And with the exception of Jared Druin, they all played travel ball for
exactly.
So,
and so it's the sense of if you get the young guys playing, coming out to the games, trying to get just them in general involved in a sense, you're going to get talent developed and to stay in the league. I know, like, we had we didn't lose anyone from my travel league team, but actually I take that back. We did.
We lost Joe for a couple of years.
We lost Joe Kennedy. We lost John Leck. And so it's you have a lot more guys now who, if they have a solid amount of talent and they can be like a Kyle O'Doy playing a varsity, if they have NBA, college, D1 college talent, they'll still most likely come and play at least 1 year on Triton before they might weigh their options for a private school or something like that, because they want to rep the school in a sense. They've done it for so long.
It's a good community program that's been built up over the years. So it's
and
definitely good.
It'll also be very interesting talking about, I mean, the new coach and all that. It'll be really interesting to see what he does. In a sense of that. I mean, that was a very large
that community going,
and I think that was a very large part of Dave Clay's role as a coach. And so I think that they were very focused on the development, and so they
hey, hold on, I'm cutting you off. This game is done. Yeah, they're calling the game.
Sure.
So that has never happened before. You know, one of the things Liam and I talked about was how difficult it is to call a football game because nothing happens, and we just had the longest stretch of nothing happening.
That was the strangest basketball game I've ever seen. Hopefully we'll have Steven grab Dylan. I mean, if I was the coach, I'd be just as confused and would say...
We'll take anybody. Hey, Sean Gundram, you want to go down there and grab any one of those players and bring them up here? Tommy Lapham, if you got him. We'll take anybody. Actually, Tommy Lapham would be funny. He was only in the game for a short time, but grab anybody and bring them up. Be fantastic. One thing I do want to mention, at halftimes, if they do the Triton Youth basketball, the little 3rd and 4th graders against each other, we're not cutting to commercial. We're not cutting to like a...
I hope not. Yeah, those are the best.
So, especially when you get the little kid that, like we were watching the other night, the little kid that's dressed like Iverson, that plays like Iverson, that's built like Iverson, that has an attitude like Iverson, and he's out there with 3rd and 4th graders. Just so much fun. So we're going to try and get an interview going here. We got Will Parsons is going to come up and have a chat with us. We'll have to ask him if this has ever happened to him before. A rain delay, an indoor rain delay. We're just going to have to stand up and get a headset to him. And put him in between us. So we've never had this before. We've never had a mid-game delayed game. So once we know that the camera's good on us, we'll wait until we get the heads-ups on. I'm getting rained on here. So as soon as we get the heads-up, we're good to go. Will, have you ever had a rain delay turn into a delay a game, turn into no game on an indoor court?
No, never, but we've had something similar like this last season against Pentucket when the lights went out at their place.
Oh, right, I remember that. During the warm-up, and you guys all thought it was because Flaherty actually was injured and they didn't want to play the game that night, right? And I think you might have been right, but we're not allowed to say that. Leo, any questions for Will about how this game went?
Yeah, so Pentucket played a 2-3, obviously a very good 2-3. They've always been a very tough opponent. What would you say, it seemed like you guys were swinging the ball a lot, but you guys weren't able to put up shots. What would you say was probably your biggest difficulty this game, other than their defense?
Other than our defense?
Yeah.
Other than their defense.
Other than their defense.
Other than their defense. Can you repeat that one more time? I couldn't.
Yeah. So basically, clearly it seemed like you guys had trouble putting up shots against this Pentucket team. Were there any other parts that you felt like guys were struggling with that you're going to try to focus on before you guys play them, finish this game?
I mean, we really haven't seen a 2-3 this season so far. We've been working on zone offense and trying to get the ball in the middle, certain stuff like that. And I don't know, I just think the ball was stagnant a little bit in the first half, and we needed to get it moving.
So you guys had a stretch there towards the end of the second quarter where they were stuck at 29. Your defense absolutely locked down. I think they ended with 5 points, ended it right at 34. So they scored 5, including that really late 3. But what was it that was happening for those? It had to be we'll have to go back and watch the tape. It had to be like a 2.5, 3 minute stretch where they couldn't score. I mean, what were you guys doing on defense that was changing?
I just think we
up?
were getting ourselves into it finally in the game, getting everyone pumped up. I mean, everyone was pumped to have Dylan back, so I think that really helped us.
I bet you were, yeah.
And just holding each other accountable in practice. We had a little talk on the bench, just really emphasize on defense. So
excellent. So I'm sure you have no idea when they play this game again, but you know you're up against Linfield on Monday. You guys ready for Linfield?
Oh, yeah. We're ready for any team.
Excellent.
All right. It's good to hear. Last question. So you guys came off of a pretty tough loss to Hamilton Wenham the other day. How does that play into, with the new coach, how does that play into the week's practices? How do you guys take what you learn from maybe that loss, and how do you bring that to the next game?
I think we have a film session before every practice, so we really emphasize on what we did wrong. Like last game, we had a lot of turnovers, so we emphasize on why we turned the ball over and how we can fix that for the next game. So,
perfect.
So this game, you're going to learn that you need to not play in this stadium if it's going to rain or rain on you while you're doing an interview or just be crazy weather outside. Well, hey, thanks, Will. Good luck next time. We'll see you on Monday.
Yep, sounds good.
So, and thank you, Leo,
thank you
for coming back to do a game.
Exactly. This was exciting. It was an exciting game. So
it was exciting until we got rained out. So never had that happen before. So excellent. Good luck in France. Good luck at Linfield. And we'll see you for the next game.
Yeah.
Thanks.